A very good afternoon to you, Johnson. Looking at that NIC rights issue, first of all, oversubscribed. So the bank managing to get that 2 billion that it was looking for in the market.
Yeah, well, we expected that. Earlier, prior to that, Diamond Trust had come to the market, sought some money, saw over subscription levels, probably of the same rate, at the same rates. So for us, we expected this of our subscription rates. It was a very attractive offer. It came in at 21 shillings a share, that when the book value was around 28 shillings. So that gives you about 25% discount on book value alone. So it was a very attractive offer. We knew the number of shares on offer were not too many, and given the success of the Diamond Trust, the hunger for investors, and the deep value of the new shares being offered, I think that's what drove the demand for the share.
Looking at Standard Chartered, their rights issue started trading in yesterday's trading session. I know it's only been 2 days. What kind of demand are you seeing coming through for Standard Chartered right now?
Right now, I think investors are watching a little bit, but we know the demand will pick up much higher from where it is right now. There's still quite a bit of good demand. You have to keep in mind that there are not too many shares on offer this time round. Offer of 1 for 13 available, although at a pricey 147 shillings. And that obviously the rights again also are trading at a pretty high price, 55 shillings. That's a bit beyond what most investors will be able to or are willing to pay for. But nevertheless, we expect strong demand going forward.
We're seeing a bit of a rally in Uchumi supermarkets. They hit a level of about 19 shillings in yesterday's trading session, with some traders saying that this is really ahead of the full-year results. What kind of results are you expecting to come out of Uchumi supermarkets?
You know, since they turn around, and every year on year, they've been growing in capacity, in unique customers, and in sales. And this has happened even through 2007, 2008, and 2009, where we had a challenging operating environment. So taking that into account, and noting that economic growth this year was still pretty, given the world scenario, it's pretty robust. And going forward, we expect stronger economic growth. We are seeing supermarkets space is still, the penetration is still low, so there's still room for growth for even before competition really kicks in. And one could argue that competition has kicked in for some of their stores, but they're still doing pretty well. They have a strong brand name. They have a very loyal customer base, strong growth in unique customers. So taking all that into account, we expect good growth, and even what may not come through this year will probably come through next year. So I think investors are pretty bullish on that stock.
You're pretty bullish yourself on that stock. Looking at the stock price at 19 shillings, is this the time to be getting in, or are you waiting for it to pull back before you get in?
I wouldn't be. I'm probably not a buyer at this point, because I was a buyer much earlier on. So I'll probably be looking to either I'm holding with a view to exiting in the because if you look at year-to-date performance, it's hit more than 150%. So with that kind of return, I'm not sure I want to hold any longer.
All right, looking at Safaricom, pretty active in today's trading session. It moved over 11.68 million shares. We know that there's that proposed 10% excise taxes, but it seems like the companies or the share price, it's shrugging off those news.
Well, pretty strong company as well. Towards the end of last year, they raised their prices and didn't have too much effect on their the customers calling or demand for their services, for that matter. Safaricom still going, M-Pesa, their money transfer product still going strong. So there's a lot of positives that investors will pick from this stock. The recent reports out suggest growth, although we know because of the CCK rules and regulations that have just been implemented, quite a number of phones have been turned off. About just over 1 million for the total industry. For them, Safaricom obviously were the hardest hit. But nevertheless, we think that the revenue generation still remains strong. People will still talk over the phone through Safaricom. We won't see too much churn simply because M-Pesa as a service helps maintain the customers within the network. And because of all that, I guess I can see where the bullishness comes from. But it's also trading come dividend.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, Johnson Nderi, Research Analyst at Suntra Investment Bank.